I appreciate that. So yeah, I've been doing this a long time, guys, and what I've seen throughout my career is our industry change, ebb and flow, right? My job is to find the best possible programs, and you've got to get, in the world that we live in now, you have to get creative. There is not one box that people fit into, right? So my job, and as a lender, I have 52 different investors. And the reason that we have all of these investors is because people don't fit into that little box anymore. I've got to find a way to take that circle and make it fit into the peg, right, into the box. So, so one of the programs that we have just brought to the table, and we've actually been very successful with in the past, I'd say in the past 6 months, we've closed 10 of these loans, and we've closed them in the San Diego area and the San Francisco area. It was very important for me to bring this project to Orange County. This company has been around for quite a while, but they were kind of an unknown in our market, and we needed to make sure that we had a loan that fit to the program. So what we're talking about today is called Unison, and Unison is a co-investment, is what it is. It's a co-investment company. So we still underwrite the loan, we still process the loan, we still do everything the same. Unison comes in as a co-investor to help someone in a situation when they don't necessarily qualify for a house. So let's say that we have a home buyer who has 10% down, right? And they want to buy that home, but it's outside of their price range. Or they have a debt to income ratio issue, or they don't want to pay mortgage insurance, one of two reasons. They don't want to pay mortgage insurance, or the mortgage insurance disqualifies them to purchase the home. What Unison does is they come in and literally give to the customer an additional 10%. Now Unison works at 5%, 10%, and 20% increments, okay? Right now we do not have a program that will go down to 5%, we're at 10% down. But now you have a client that has 10% down, now they have an additional 10%, which I do not hit them for, meaning that we don't, it's not a piggyback second. It is not a down payment assistance program. There is no payment tied to the 10%. It is a co-investment. So now I have a client that has 20% down, now qualifies to purchase that home, and their payment is still going to be based at 20%, not 10%. Does that make sense? So we're not adding any additional payment here. So a lot of times when we do a piggyback second, meaning that we want to remove mortgage insurance for a customer, well, that's great, but guess what? Those seconds don't come free, and you have a monthly payment that you have to make on that. So folks are still increasing their monthly payment. So what's the catch, right? Nobody gives money for free, okay? We like to call them our rich uncles in a way. But here's the thing, it's a co-investment. So what it means is they're going to share in the equity when the property gets sold, okay? They only share in the appreciation of the property. You want to put one for me if you don't mind?
Yep.
Okay, so this is where we have to educate our home buyers and how it works. Now, when we do these loans, there is a class that these folks take. We sit down with them on a one-on-one basis as well to explain to them, hey, this is what's going to happen when you go to sell your property. One more, Sean? So co-investment, okay, between 15 to 20% towards clients' down payment. Right now, like I spoke about, we are at 10%. We are looking for investors that will do 5% down. And I think that will make a big difference. But right now, being that our mid-range price in Orange County, which is absolutely amazing to me, the median home price is well over $600,000, right? So we go down to a loan amount, and I digress, we go down to a loan amount of $606 with Unison. So this is not going to be the homes in Marietta yet, and Riverside, and that type of area. Some of them may fall into it, but we're not going to be looking at, you know, mid-range or low-range condos at this point. One more for me, Sean? Okay. So here's an example of what happens here, okay? So let's say that a property appreciates, and it goes, purchase price being $1 million, the sales price is now $1.2 million. Once that point comes and they're ready to sell their property, then Unison is going to want their 33% equity is what they're going to want in the property, okay? So, but if a property does not appreciate for some reason in Southern California, and we don't earn any equity in that home, then Unison gets nothing back when they sell the property.
Wow.
They also share in the depreciation of a property, okay? So if we take a loss if, Barry Habib comes out tomorrow, not everyone knows that name, sorry, it just sticks in my head. So let's say that there's a recession tomorrow, okay? And the good old feds are not trying to mask the recession. And we have a massive recession. Not that this is going to happen, but if it does happen and we lose value in our properties, then Unison is going to share in that loss as well, okay? So this program, obviously, it's not going to be for everyone. This is for our first-time home buyers. What I tell folks right away is that think about it, if you're trying to sell this property within a 3-year period, think about 3 years as a prepay. That's really what Unison does not want to see happen, right? So this is not going to be for someone that says, hey, I want to buy this property and we're going to turn around and make a profit on it and sell it in 3 years. Or this is my stepping stone and my future here is to make an investment in 3 years. We really sit down with first-time home buyers and explain this program to them. Now typically in Southern California, we don't see anyone do anything with their loans for at least a 5 to 7 year period, right? If anything. So, and for a first-time home buyer, do they have a long-term goal for the property? Typically not, they just want to buy the home, okay? But I also need to make sure that these people can qualify. The last thing I want to do for someone is make their property a liability, not an asset. This is a very good program, and I think the way that it's presented to a person is very important. And it's also showing that there is share, right? So it's not like, hey, we're giving money for free. Your uncle wants his money back, okay, eventually. But they're willing to share in the risk and they're also willing to share in the reward, okay? So this is really for those people that come to me and go, John, we want to buy that $900,000 home, just using that number because it's a pretty typical number that we see nowadays. But we only qualify for $800,000. But we don't want to have a payment that's going to double or add an additional 20 to 30% on top of the principal and interest that we're already paying. Then this is a perfect program for them, all right? So what happens if they sell that property within 3 years? Unison's going to come to them and go, I want my 33%. I want my 10%, excuse me, not my 33%. I want my 10% down payment that I gave you because you sold in less than 3 years, okay? And that's in a contract. That's pretty much it. That is the program in a nutshell. Any questions?
In less than how many years? I didn't hear.
Three.
What happens after 3?
What's that?
After 3?
After 3, if they sell after 3 years, that's when you're starting to fall into the appreciation, depreciation type of portion. So think of it, it's like a 3-year
They're
prepay.
still getting their 100 back though.
Well, let's see, on 3, right? So if think about that like a 3-year prepay.
Yeah.
So let's say you go, hey, I want to sell this. Well, guess what? We have this contract in place. You got to give me my 10% right now.
Gotcha.
Got
Okay,
it?
so after 3, it's just a straight
After 3, it's just that
their
equity
money
share.
back plus
Look-
33%.
Yep, 33%, correct.
Plus 33 or?
Plus their 10%.
What if you
They're
don't want to
33%.
sell your house?
Then if you don't sell your house, it amortize, that's a great question, and I
Just bring it back
apologize.
plus
These
30.
loans amortize over 30 years, right? So in a 30-year period, if you don't sell your house, you don't sell your house, right?
Sometimes you might want
And
to
you don't own it.
refinance. What happens then?
What's that?
That's a sale. Otherwise,
You
we're
might
doing
want to
something.
refinance.
If you, okay, that's also a great question. So let's say you want to refinance it, it's going to be treated, it can be treated like a sale, okay? But you can refinance on these programs because, again, Unison's not the mortgage. I'm the mortgage, okay? When I do this loan, Unison is the gift, is the way that we look at it. Now, it's not a gift because obviously you're going to be paying this back one way or another in some type of portion. But it is a gift in my eyes when I'm doing the loan. Okay?
So,
Yep.
real quick.
Yes, sir.
Is there any provision to length of time?
30 years.
So it's based on the loan itself?
It amortizes over 30 years, correct. Now, here's the thing. They do not go on title. Unison does not go on title. But you bet there's going to be a lien on the property.
Yeah.
Okay? Absolutely, right? So I had that question with I presented to probably about, I don't know, 20, 25, 30 realtors. And they went, okay, well, there's not a lien. I said, well, absolutely there is, right? They won't be on title though. They don't share on title, but yeah, they're going to put a lien on the house.
So that means they don't share in the tax write-offs?
They don't share in the tax write-offs? Absolutely not, no. And any cost that has to do with the purchase, anything that they're writing off at the beginning of the loan, at the end of the loan, that goes to the home
Can you
buyer.
explain the last column there?
Well, it's black on top.
The home proceeds?
Yeah.
Okay, so I mean, if
Because
you look at,
they're literally gonna get the difference between 166 and 400.
correct.
Okay, so what is 404?
Homeowner has gained value.
Turn around, it's right there on the screen.
Yeah, it's right there on that screen too.
Yeah.
How about after, Mr. Bud?
Homeowner has gained value.
Yeah, so you got payment to lender, payment to Unison.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you're looking at the difference of when they sell that property. Ron, what was your question?
Well, their net is.
404, you have a payment to the lender of
The gross net,
630,000.
the gross was 400, and they gotta pay 166 back to Unison, right?
Yeah, and
That
630
leaves
payment to the
them
lender.
234 or whatever,
It looks like they're getting,
224.
We got a change of value of 200,000, right? Unison share of 33%, which is 66,000.
Right.
They still have to pay the lender back with that, with the initial, let's say they still have a balance on the first,
Right.
right? And they're selling the property for sales
Oh,
price of
so what we're
$1,200,000.
assuming there is they bought the principal down by $170,000.
Correct, so that's,
Ah.
yeah, got it?
Got
Okay.
it.
All
Okay,
right.
so that was just an arbitrary number of years that bought that principal down.
Correct, well, this is showing the full amortization, is what they're showing. Make sense?
Yeah.
Okay, all right. Okay, any other questions?
Thomas had a question.
Yeah, yes, sir.
If you live out, let's just say you go out 20 years and you want to pay their 33% off.
Yeah.
Is their equity then 33% of the then appraised value?
So the equity, if you look at that, it's always going to be based on, let's say we make no equity in the property at all, and in 20 years you want to
No,
pay
you
it
don't
off.
want to sell it, but you
Yeah.
want to take them out. Can
Yeah,
you take them out?
absolutely you can take them out. Yeah,
So
yeah.
they would
Anything
have
after
then
3 years.
33% of the then appraised value?
Correct, correct. Now here's
Plus
another
their
thing.
100.
Yeah, so
Plus
here's,
their 10%.
yeah, so it's,
Plus your 100.
no, they're 33%, guys. It's going to be after, if you do it before 3 years, you're paying back the 10, and they're going to want a portion of that 33.
Right.
After the 3 years, it's only 33%.
Plus
They're
their,
not-
plus their down payment.
Not plus their down payment. No.
That's after 3 years, it's just.
No,
whatever
it's just,
the-
they share in the equity share of 33% after.
At 33%.
Correct.
And if there is no.
That's a hell of a gamble.
I was gonna
It's
say,
a hell,
what
it
happens-
is.
This is another question, what happens at that time the market's down and they want to get out there?
So like we touched on, if there is a depreciation in the market, then they share in that depreciation in the market, right? Absolutely. So after the 3-year period, it is 33%.
Yeah,
They're
but
not
it's
asking
showing-
for their
up there,
additional
John,
time.
it's showing 33 plus their 100.
In that scenario, yes.
So that was under 3 years?
Yeah. Correct.
So if the
Yeah.
market's down, do they have the right of first refusal to buy the home?
What's that, I'm sorry?
If the market's down, do they have the right of first refusal to buy the home?
No, they have a lien on the property, but we're still in first
I just wondered
position.
if the contract gave them a little more
No, we're still in first
to mitigate
position.
their loss.
Yeah, we're still in first position, right? So let's look at this. Let's think about, back in 07, 08. How many people had equity lines on their properties, right?
Yeah.
And they came in and froze those equity lines. Well, they're still in a second position. So they still have a right to something, right? Because they've got a lien on your house. So, okay. Now, one other portion here. Let's say we do $200,000 in upgrades in the house, right? You renovate and add additional square footage. Unison does not share in that equity piece. They only share in what the original purchase price would be based on the appreciation.
Oh, so home improvements.
Home improvements does not
factor in.
count. Yeah.
Hey, John,
Someone's got a.
Yes, sir.
I don't think you actually have a chance to answer Kathy's earlier question.
What?
What if you just don't sell the home?
If you don't sell the home, you don't sell the home. It runs out after 30 years. It's a 30-year loan.
Yeah, you own it.
You own it after 30 years.
Means you had to pay them back.
Well, you pay them back after 30.
does it have to be a lump sum at 30 years?
No, you'll be fine.
All these
We-
detailed questions.
Folks, we could, I'll tell you what, we would love to have one-on-ones with each and every one of you, okay? So I don't have time to answer all these questions. Obviously, it sparks some interest, yeah?
No,
I think it's a
And
great
that's what
program.
it's about.
This
So,
is awesome.
But yes, can you refinance on this program? Yes, you can. Can you do it as a refinance without purchasing a home? There's a program for that too. My goal right now is to concentrate on the purchase side and help people get into homes. Because right now, we are seeing a change in the market, and we're actually seeing more inventory, but right now is a slow time of year, and people don't know about these type of programs, right? So for the first-time home buyer who's educated the right way about this program and understands that you're not looking at a short term, these are not ARM products, these are fixed for 30 years. That's the only way we do them. So it's a 30-year fixed on my side. They're impounding taxes and insurance, no choice there, okay? But that makes sure that we have security in the first, right? All right.
Caution anymore.
Absolutely. So any other questions, please contact me and we can discuss directly.
Yeah,
Thank you very much.
right.